Gentlemen, I think this is a time for making a quick summary by my friend from Murli. So Murli, would you like to quickly summarize? We will be very grateful.
How many how many minutes do I have? 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, that's good. Um, I'm not going to actually comment on any of these excellent projects because I don't think I should be doing that. I rather learned lots of it from them. But what I would like to point out, which is very obvious, therefore I'm not going to make any big new observation. There's been a very clear, an organic sort of a shift in thinking. You know, people don't even use the term sometimes inclusion, but it's often seen as a new partnership, emerging space, emerging opportunities. So it's kind of a sort of a very inclusive language that's being used, which I think is far more fundamental and much more delightful than dropping the word social inclusion here and there. You know, that to me, I want to make that observation for the record. To me, it's absolutely delightful, number one. Number two, I also like I've heard the fact that, you know, the shifting of the usual, the economist and FT type BPO into the reality in search of market rural BPO, a new viable model and purely, you know, interest driven and proving the record that people can deliver it. To me, that's another interesting way of looking at inclusion. I just saw from all this presentation 5 major kind of areas where inclusion seems to be very, you know, jumping out and hitting my eyes, at least my eyes. Probably you see more than I do. Definitely the first one is people who are physically challenged or specially abled. There seemed to be a very considerable attention paid to this. I mean, for one, I always think attention to those sort of people in our country is very less. You know, it's not much given. And it's the fact that normally techie people do not care about these things. Techie people care about money sought after applications, but here I see completely different ones. So which kind of it's a trend setting in that sense in many ways. And I think that needs to be captured somewhere. One of the things that I would like to actually from this session, I would like to make a recommendation is to somewhere pull these excellent interventions somewhere and pull them something together and document it somewhere. Because, you know, it's about time to change the face of ICT revolution of India. It's about time to kind of actually give a human twist to that. And I'm seeing that here. That's first emerging thing. The second is second and third kind of linked to each other. I really like the presentation about the Save the Baby Girl because I'm somewhat tired and somewhat irritated and annoyed by overhyping of participation. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for participation. But sometimes government or any other powerful institution has to step in and make some really decisions at times needed. So that particular example, what showed me is proper monitoring, sensitive monitoring, enabling governance to deliver better equity. It's not always about listening to people and going upward. So in that sense, I found that example particularly distinctive. You know, you need to be sometimes top down and tell people, you know, you're going to kill someone. I'm not going to enter into a participatory conversation. Whether you want to kill someone or not, you're not going to kill. If you're going to kill, I'm going to punish you. And that's my duty. And putting systems in place to ensure that governance delivery. I think that's completely a very interesting twist to ensure inclusion. Not always actually, you know, listening to it. And the link to that is the way that how rural BPO is framed within gender context. I really loved it. You know, it's not always, you know, BPO. I mean, what I really wanted to emphasize, the urban BPOs comes with lots of gender stereotypes and gender cliches. What I've heard today here, complete reverse of what's been portrayed and projected. And to me, not only shifting from urban to rural is already an inclusive term, but also framing that within the gender context is much more fantastic. Unfortunately, there's not many women, not even a single woman here, but I think that's again something that needs to be documented, how we actually shift the face of ICT and how we approach towards inclusion. And the last, not the last, and two more, one, the financial inclusion. What I really liked about one particular thing I liked about financial inclusion is that the gentleman said how they are able to actually give foolproof identity to the people at the bottom of the pyramid. To me, that captures the essence of the whole thing. Identity to marginal people living in margins is most sought after. We take it for granted so easily in urban society. And giving them a foolproof identity, oh my God, that's more than giving them food. That sense of recognition. And then build the esteem on the basis of that. And to me, that's a kind of an interesting way of actually looking at inclusion. And finally, but not last but not least, various ways of providing key services that included the Ceylon map and calculator and extension services. And extension services started with one particular idea, but then it organically develops into something else. And why it organically develops into something else? Because people actually are able to negotiate their esteem through these machines, through these technologies. So therefore, I'm kind of sensing those sort of social inclusion agents or aspects: identity, gender issues, governance, and treating rural people as partners and emerging opportunities, and also, the proactively pushing the local language content. And I just really want to finish by saying, as a result, there's something that came up here. Someone talked about rural BPO consortium. And to me, that's the kind of a key point. I think there's lots of things happening here. It's about time to consolidate your presence and then make a better negotiation with government and other people. For example, the gentleman with, from Gujarat, you wanted to actually breakthrough. You're looking for it. I think it seems like lots of things are happening in isolation. And I'm not saying that people join together and kill the individual innovation, but there seem to be rural BPO consortium sort of thing might leverage better negotiating power to push forward. And just that note, I mean, I'm just delighted to hear everything. Thank you so much. I hope I made some sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Murli, for a very, very excellent summary. And then you have to do another small duty, pleasant duty, to give the mementos to our speakers. So I will request you to give the mementos. We'll speak it up later. Mindtree, then Fino, Sunil. Yeah. Then Ability, please come. You're late in the presentation, but early in the getting memento. So and then Daisy for all. I don't think he's there. Yes, left. Okay, then we have, is there anybody? Daisy for all. And then we have, Sri Lanka, the first and only multilingual web-based Sri Lankan map. Yeah. Then Bangla calculator. Yes. Syed Islam. Then Hava, please come. And Amit also. Where is Amit? So first him. And then Harva, second one. Then our friend from IT Mission Kerala. Kerala IT Mission, yes. Insight. Then comebacks. Where is Dr. Rajiv? Yeah. Comebacks. And then SFC, Source for Change. Okay, good. And I think, where is Deshmukhji? Deshmukhji is gone. Okay, so thank you very much for a very good session. And I have to do one for our co-chair also. So let me give this on behalf of the organizing committee. So, and big hand for Murli because he has come all the way. Please come. He cannot. cannot be, because he's a photographer, great photographer.
No, it can be two lines. Come, please come here.
Are you getting everybody? Yes. He is doing video actually. Thank you. Good. Thank you very much.